And if you read this, I think you'll get the message a little bit more. Read it, and you'll be gifted. And you'll be stronger in your commitment, I'm sure. Okay, I'm back to my notes. With whom do we maintain personal contact? With potential candidates for the Cursillo. This is the pre-Cursillo phase. With those living the Cursillo weekend, the Cursillo or the 3-day weekend, and with those who were at one's table during the Cursillo weekend, and with those who are in one's group reunions and ultras, the Secretariat and or the School of Leaders. That's the post-Cursillo phase. And there's one that is not highlighted much. With those, no one is contacting. With those who may not be Cursillistas yet, or those Cursillistas who are inactive in our movement. Those are the people that we try to touch base with at some time in our witnessing for Christ. Basically then, it appears that personal contact is to be exercised with anyone we come in contact with, isn't it? During personal contact, what do we communicate? While being flexible and sensitive enough to respond to whatever is on a Cursillista's mind, it ought to focus on the one ideal of the movement. In the Cursillo weekend, the message has been driven to each individual. Has been, I said, because we all experienced the weekend already. But this message is driven to candidates as well as staff. For the staff as reminder, I think. That the ideal is to live a life in grace in a conscious, growing, and shared manner. Particular attention should be given to the heart of the Cursillo, that of helping each Cursillista make Christ his or her ideal, and thus direct his whole or her whole life to Christ. Through personal contact, much help need to be given to the Cursillista on the matter of maturing in the Christian life. The leader must share his, her piety, study, and action. This is one's gift of presence to those who need this. So I think we are encouraged, or we are, what should I say, not really encouraged. We should take it upon ourselves to find the people that are not getting involved with our movement and try to reawaken that desire, that hunger to be with one another. I think a lot of people think us as very inclusive, that the outside is not a part of us. But if we try to widen that, include our friends who has not yet experienced the weekend, let's see our genuine desire to get them in, and once they're in and they become comfortable, I think we've solved the idea of what we are trying to accomplish. Don't you establish friendship? It gets deeper. If they were friends then that is a blessing. That's how we look at it. But I'm not imposing that on you guys. What works for you, great, right? Because I can see the advantage to that is you widen your horizon.
And you're free to share too.
Yeah.
You're free to share if you don't have your friends.
Oh. But if you are friends, don't you think you should be free to share?
But it's establishing new friends. Right. You're different. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So your
I
friendship
guess
is
it's a give and take then.
Yeah.
I think in my way of thinking, it's more, I would be more comfy with somebody I already know to share what I know. Okay. But our group is like that. But as I said, I will not impose my idea or our ideas to leaders. Okay. Leaders, I said that already, leaders should arrive. During Ultreas, that is, and this is important, this is where the leader will have the most contact with the Cursilista. As I was listening to your sharing, you do your group reunion monthly, right?
Yes.
In our group, we have different small groups, and we group every week. And I think some of us do the Bible studies as well, or the reading of the day anyway. Discuss that. Plus, of course, the PSA, which should not be deleted in our group. But I want to share this with you as something that you can take, because as a group, I think this is very important to know. During my class in 2000, I was a rector at that time. Our candidates came from all over. I think, let me give a little bit. Am I over? A little
5
bit?
more minutes.
Okay. In 1991, we started our Cursillo in San Bernardino. We had 4 classes that year. But the thing was, we did not plan. It was sort of, we wanted it. You know that restlessness that we talked about yesterday? We wanted so much to touch people. So 1 and 2 classes was great. And then the organizers, I can't remember their name, they wanted a 3rd and a 4th one. And I said, at that time, you know, if we are really to do a good job at this, we should really plan. Do we really need a 3rd or a 4th? And so everybody, of course, were gung-ho. No, we can do it. And I said, we're doing it not the right way. Because to me, if you want to really do your best for Christ, then you plan, right? So anyways, I lost that. And they went on, and a blessing that I had to go to a managerial retreat, so I was not involved. I went there, what they told me was, Sister Letty, everything that comes out of your mouth is so negative. You cannot do this, you cannot do that, it's not good. And I said, well, I'm just telling you. But I was there for the clausura on that 4th class, and the guy that told me that one, I was so negative, he came running towards me when he saw me, and he said, Sister Letty, now I know what you mean. So, and then we came as a group together, and we said, you know, if we are going to really be a part of a community that is working towards Christ, we should have a community where these candidates come. Why don't we stop our classes, learn more about Cursillo, and then we hold classes? So from 1991 to 2000, part of those years, we really worked hard. We got involved, obviously, with other groups, but we asked the help of those groups to help us out, to guide us. So by 2000, we were already strong enough to say, okay, let's hold classes. And so we have been holding classes every year, 2 classes every year, men and women. And it has been pretty good. So anyways, during my class in 2000, my candidates came from all over, as I said. The brunt was from our diocese, but some were from the Diocese of LA. One of them was from Oxnard. I knew then that my personal contact with her would be limited. At that time, I was with the belief that my role as rectora was mainly to be their guide, with the help of the staff, and that the candidates' community was ultimately responsible for the candidates' faith journey. During Sister Loretto's passing a few years ago, her sponsor contacted me to inform of her passing. I was invited to attend her wake during the Cursillo night in Oakland. I went and I was asked to share. And I did, and the message I told them was, I was her rectora, and that my role was so small to give it credit. Instead, I commended all the Cursillistas in her community, as they were the people who helped her grow in her faith and in her commitment to the Lord. They nurtured her well, and I thanked everyone for a job well done. Her name was Sister Loreto Yampao. As leaders of our movement, brothers and sisters, we are tasked to hold our movement focused in the right direction. As I mentioned last evening, the Cursillo movement remains to struggle issues on non-essentials, not in conformity with National Cursillo's bylaws. There's one thing I'd like us to focus on, to consider seriously, more heavily, if I may. Probably let us get into the habit of asking this question: why? Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we trying to plan to implement this? If our answer to that question leads us to an answer that says it's for the glory of God, then we can say, yeah, we should do it, and we can go ahead and do it. But if the answer to that question is for an increased joy in ourselves, for self-gratification, then probably we should think twice before we implement, or we think twice before we continue, because there's always that reason why nationals sometimes say this is not to be done. You know, it's a very touchy subject. We have that struggle in ours, and I'm sure there's struggle in all some of the groups. But that question, that why, that was asked and that was emphasized in a talk that I heard in national, I think, or in region. I can't remember. But that stuck to me, that if the answer is towards God's glory, we should be comfortable enough to say we're doing it right.
Sister Letty, it's in the discerning the will of God.
There you go, sister. I should have said before to Sister Letty. I'm new at this. I don't know where I got it, but when my head hits something, or my mind and my heart hears something that I think, because I'm also one of those that say, why are we doing that? And I said, oh, I think I'm on the right track. So in conclusion, it is my hope that my presentation of this importance of the Cursillo Leader will impel us to become just that, Cursillo leaders, that is. Perhaps we view our roles a little different than before. I trust that we come to know that each phase of the Cursillo movement is as important as the others. I also want to impart these thoughts to each one of you. Cursillo weekends should not be held unless there is sufficient number of leaders to take care of the new Cursillistas before and after the weekend. Second, we are not interested, or we should not be interested, in having many saints on hand for a few days, but having them at the hour of their truth, which will be the day of their final judgment, that they be saints, with a capital S. Finally, here's a thought we can all take to heart for the rest of our lives, brothers and sisters. We have a common goal, all of us. We are all in this faith journey back to our life. In said faith journey, we need one another for support. for strength, so that we remain steadfast in our commitment to our mission of salvation. The Cursillo movement is not asking us to conquer the whole world. It is asking us to impact our immediate environments, our families, our friends, our workplace, those we have in contact with, in the hope that those we touch also give impact to those they touch. And in so doing, the ripple effect of our deeds will eventually change the world to become a world of peace, a world of love, a world of abundance, a world that is conscious of the greatness of our Father Almighty, who is our beginning and our end, our Alpha